case of Pir Sabir Shah. This is PLD 1995, Supreme Court, page 66. And I refer to this case to support the submission that when seized of a matter in the PLD 1995, Supreme Court, 66.
Relevant?
Ji, isme, my lords will see there are judgments written by at least 7 of their lordships, and I would want to read a few lines from each, but the most relevant I would submit is the judgment written by his lordship, as he then was, Salim Akhtar, which has then been approved and endorsed in Dosani Travels. So this becomes the law, and Dosani Travels in turn has been relied upon by your lordships in the majority judgment. So this is the line. Pir Sabir Shah, Salim Akhtar Saab's judgment, approved, endorsed in Dosani Travels, and then Dosani Travels has been relied upon in the 8-member bench judgment of this court. Now kindly see what Salim Akhtar Saab had held with respect to the interaction between Article 175.2 and 187 and 184.3. I go to page 189 of the report.
Paragraph?
Ji, if I could just read very briefly paragraph 8. Mr. Sharifuddin Pirzada, Learned Counsel for the Respondents, referred to Humayun Saifullah Khan versus Federation, PLD 94, Supreme Court 595, wherein a reference filed under Section 8B of the Act, this is the Political Parties Act of 1962, before the Election Commission, the said provision was challenged as ultra vires the Constitution, an issue was framed, and then the issue was whether this court sitting in appeal under Section 8B could have struck down Section 8B. I go on to the next paragraph, 9. The Learned Counsel for the Respondents then contended that while hearing appeal, this court is not restricted within the bounds of the law from which the appeal has arisen, but being the apex court is competent to decide vires of the Act. It was further contended that in any event, Article 187 of the Constitution confers power to decide all questions to do complete justice between the parties. The Learned Counsel referred to Waris Mia's case, PLD 1957, Supreme Court 157, in which question of vires of the Foreign Exchange Act was raised for the first time and entertained by it. Reference was also made to Noura and another versus the state, PLD 73, Supreme Court 469, and Zuhur Ali versus the state, PLD 77, Supreme Court 273, in support of the argument. Reliance was also placed on Muhammad Ashraf and another versus the state, PLD 81, Supreme Court 265, and so on. I skip, sir. I now go to the last 3 or 4 lines of para 9. In response to Mr. Pirzada's arguments, this is what the counsel for the other side had to say. Mr. Khalid Anwar has pointed out that after Chaudhry Zuhur Ali's case, PLD 77, Supreme Court 273, at page 190, the paragraph, the lines just before the paragraph number 10. So these are the last 4 lines of paragraph 9 on page 190. Mr. Khalid Anwar has pointed out that after Chaudhry Zuhur Ali's case, PLD 77, Supreme Court 273, Article 187 was amended, and it was made subject to Article 175.2, which provides that no court shall have any jurisdiction save as is and may be conferred on it by the Constitution or by or under any law. Now, after recording both arguments of the 2 sides, this is what his lordship holds. Para 10. The Supreme Court is the apex court. It is the highest and the ultimate court under the Constitution. In my view, the inherent, now I underline that, his lordship recognizes an inherent power. In my view, the inherent and plenary power of this court, which is vested in it by virtue of being the ultimate court, it has the power to do complete justice without in any manner infringing or violating any provision of law. So this is the 175.2 constraint. It can't infringe a law, it can't violate a law, but other than that, it has plenary inherent powers. It does not need to point to a legal provision to say this is why we are doing this, particularly when a constitutional deviation is being cleansed, as I'll come to the case law later. So it has inherent and plenary power. subject only to that it should not violate any given law. While doing complete justice, this court would not cross the frontiers of the Constitution and law. The term complete justice is not capable of definition with exactitude. It is a term covering variety of cases and reliefs which this court can mold and grant depending upon the facts and circumstances of the case. While doing complete justice, formalities and technicalities should not fetter its power. It can grant ancillary relief, mold the relief within its jurisdiction depending on the facts and circumstances of the case, take additional evidence, and in appropriate cases even subsequent events may be taken into consideration. Ronald Rotunda, in his book Treatise on Constitutional Case Law, A Case Substance, 2nd edition, volume 2, page 90, has stated that the Supreme Court is an essence of a continual constitutional convention. The jurisdiction and the power conferred on the Supreme Court does empower it to do complete justice by looking to the facts, circumstances, and the law governing a particular case. Article 187 does not confer any jurisdiction. It recognizes inherent power of an apex court to do complete jurisdiction and issue orders and directions to achieve that end. Inherent justification is vested in the High Court and subordinate courts while dealing with civil and criminal cases by virtue of provisions of law. The inherent jurisdiction of this court to do complete justice cannot be curtailed by law, as it may adversely affect the independence of judiciary and the fundamental right of persons to have free access to the court for achieving complete justice. This enunciation may evoke a controversy that as Article 175(2) restricts Article 187, it will create conflict between the two. There is no conflict, and both the articles can be read together. The conflict in the provisions of the Constitution should not be assumed, and if apparently there seems to be any, it has to be interpreted in a harmonious manner by which both the provisions may coexist. One provision of the Constitution cannot be struck down being in conflict with the other provision of the Constitution. They have to live together, exist together, and operate together. Therefore, while interpreting jurisdiction and power of the superior courts, one should look to the fundamental rights conferred and the duty cast upon them under the Constitution. I underline this. Ultimately, it is this court that has to enforce fundamental rights. This court derives its ultimate jurisdiction from the duty to enforce fundamental rights. That is a duty vested in this court by the Constitution. For this, we don't have to travel beyond the Constitution. I read on. A provision like Article 187 cannot be read in isolation, but has to be interpreted and read harmoniously with other provisions of the Constitution. In my humble view, this court, while hearing appeal under a statute, has the jurisdiction and power to decide the question of vires of the statute under which the appeal has arisen, and can even invoke Article 184(3) in appropriate cases.
How in this case 187 was applicable, how it was applied, and how...
My Lord has applied it. Let me just read a few cases, sir. We have short of time. I'll answer all these questions. How 187 has been applied in this case. The reference to Dosani, that's the main point I'm going to argue.
ये तो वैसे भी जो है उनका एडिशनल नोट है ना, आप दोसानी पढ़ेंगे
जी, अब आप दोसानी पे आज दोसानी has endorsed this.
आपने स्टार्ट किया पैरा 8 से
जी.
पैरा 8 में आया बिटवीन द पार्टीज 187
नहीं सर, नीचे 184(3) में वो आ गए ना। सर मैं अर्ज करता हूँ मुझे थोड़ा सा आगे पढ़ने
इसमें
दें।
यही आपने खुद पढ़ा है
सर ठीक हो गया सर, जहाँ पे but then ultimately they say we can even invoke 184(3). So when they invoke 184(3), then the scope becomes much wider.
Whether Election Commission was party in it?
In which case?
In the case before the High Court and the case before us.
Yes.
So the parties were there.
Yes, my Lord, yes, the Election Commission is party. But sir, the issue here is about PTI, what my Lord is perhaps referring to. I'll come to that in a moment. The reason for reading this judgment is that it is clearly enunciating the jurisdiction of this court under Article 187 to encompass the power and the jurisdiction available to this court under 184(3). That is the vital point that this judgment has laid down. And this is accepted. Now, if we go to Dosani Travels, there's other judgments in Pir Sabir Shah that I'll want to revert to, but let me go directly to Dosani Travels then. In the binder that I submitted yesterday,
येलो कलर
this is PLD 2014, Supreme Court page 1.
It was primarily related to the Hajj cases, travel agents.
Yes, but the question arose as to the power of the Supreme Court vis-a-vis the power of the High Court under Article 199 and so on. And the court ultimately held the Supreme Court has wider power because it can read 187 and 184 together and pass any judgment, any order that does complete justice and that enforces.
Then your case is that the judgment under review has been passed under 184.3.
187 read with 184.3. Absolutely, it's very clear. So when we talk of 187, we talk of 184.3. Nothing is excluded when 187. 187 is the umbrella provision. It is not merely procedural. It points to the inherent power and the power expressly vested by 184.3 in the Supreme Court. So let's come to Dosani Travels. Kindly see. This is in my paper book. This starts at page 195.
G.
And I take your lordships in the paper book to page 215. I'll very quickly then come to 236, which is where I want to come. But let's start briefly at 215. Para 13, the respondent and petitioners had sought judicial review of Hajj policy by invoking article, this is para 13 at page 215 of the paper book. The respondent and petitioners had sought judicial review of Hajj policy by invoking article 199 of the Constitution inter alia on the ground that the said policy was violative of the fundamental rights enshrined in articles 18 and 25 of the Constitution. 14. We judges are mere mortals, but the functions we perform have
Mic
given...
करीब हो जाए. Mic करीब.
My apologies. We judges are mere mortals, but the functions we perform have divine attributes. By the nature of our calling, we dispense justice under the law and provide relief. However, justice in its generic sense is a relative concept, and unless regulated by law, the dispensation, notwithstanding the noble intent, would be rather subjective. While exercising powers under Article 199(1) of the Constitution, courts should always keep in view the following three parameters of their jurisdiction. A high court is the apex court in the province, or in the case of Islamabad, of the capital territory, but they are the creatures of the Constitution, and they have only that jurisdiction which has been conferred by the Constitution or under any law for the time being in force. Article 175(2) specifically mandates no court shall have any jurisdiction save as is or may be conferred on it by the Constitution or by or under any law. The power of the High Court under Article 199 is subject to the Constitution, and it can make any of the following orders if it is satisfied that no other adequate remedy is available. Then 199 is reproduced. I leave that. I then go...
Article 3, Roman 3.
G. The ambit and scope of the power of the High Court under Article 199 of the Constitution is not as wide as of the Supreme Court under Article 187 of the Constitution to pass any order or issue any direction or decrees for doing complete justice. And why that is the case, they come to later.
ये भी नोट है या मेन जजमेंट है ये?
तो सर ये तो मेन जजमेंट है.
नहीं, ये जो पढ़ रहे हैं आप, ये जिलानी साहब का नोट.
जी ये नहीं है जजमेंट, उनकी मेन जजमेंट.
Majority judgment ये.
Yes sir.
Member bench है ये.
जी, and they've endorsed the judgment of the previous in Sabir Shah's case. Sabir Shah's case, there were a number of notes not in conflict with one another. Each had elaborated 187 in their own way. So Sabir Shah taken together as authority for the power of Article 187. Salim Akhtar Saab had in particular pointed to 184(3), which is also something that later other judges have pointed to. But Dosani Travels, of all the notes in Pir Sabir Shah's case, chooses Salim Akhtar Saab's note and endorses that. Kindly see.